think I was just lucky to be walking up when Will told a really funny joke. Thank you very much, Will, for introducing me and being my friend and being a supporter and being a business owner and being someone who cares about our city. You know, this has been an interesting 18 months of this campaign. I got in, as many people know, back in May of '09. When things weren't necessarily looking so good for the Republican Party, we weren't sure what kind of future we were going to have. The president was newly elected. He was personally very popular. People were encouraged by two words, hope and change. But there were things that were happening, and they were telegraphing the kind of government they wanted in a few key speeches and key votes. Back in April and May of 2009, I had to make a decision whether I was going to run for re-election for mayor or if I was going to do something different, offer something different. And that was not an easy decision for me. I have had a tremendous time being mayor of this great city. I've enjoyed each and every moment of being mayor. And there were lots of things that we could have continued focusing on. But as I started looking at the national agenda of Carol Shea Porter and the Democratic Party and the president, I felt, like many of you did, a concern about the direction of the nation. So I sat down with Morgan and some of my key friends and supporters, and we started talking about the idea of offering my candidacy for Congress. And it was very early. It was very early. And I ended up stating to my friends and to Morgan and to people in the city that I didn't want to run for re-election if there was a chance that I would run for something else. Because it would not have been fair to take the oath of office in January of 2010 and then turn around 3 months later and decide to run for something else. Candidates, people in the Republican Party, need to be better than that. And if we are going to demonstrate real, true leadership and passion for service, something I think we understand in New Hampshire, then we need to be doing things better than everybody else. So I decided to make a joint announcement that I was not going to run for re-election, I was going to run for Congress. And people in the city got an opportunity to choose their next mayor. People got an opportunity to know that I was passionate about running for Congress. I completed my second term as mayor. We worked extremely hard in that last year, making sure that a spending cap would get on the ballot, and thank goodness it passed. And then we started full-time campaigning in January, but we built one heck of a team. And many of you here today were part of this team from day one. We built a group of 700 people strong to knock on doors, to go talk with their friends and their families and their neighbors about why we could change the direction of the nation and why it was important. Carol Shea Porter believes in big government. She believes that government should be dictating how we live our lives, how we run our businesses. She feels that that truly is the solution. She's passionate about big government like I'm passionate about limited government. And over the course of the last, not just 18 months, but 4 years, because remember, she's been in office for 4 years. Nancy Pelosi has been in power for 4 years. Look at what they have done to our country. We have record debt, record deficits. We have a Congress who's proud that they make announcements that they're not going to actually pass a budget, let alone a balanced budget. They have conveyed to the American public that they're going to continue running deficits for at least the next 2 years. They want to continue with bailouts and stimulus. They want to continue putting our children and our grandchildren's future at stake. And there is no better time than now for Americans, not just Republicans, but Americans, to stand up and fight back and take back what we believe is precious in our country. Our freedoms, our liberties, our individual rights. I believe that you can make decisions for yourselves. I believe that given the opportunity, you will always succeed. And what we've seen over the last 4 years is not just bigger government, but a European-style, socialized approach to this country. And it's why we are so angry, and it's why we are so incensed, and it's why we are so passionate about getting engaged. And we all get engaged in different ways. Some of us put our name on a ballot. Some of us will make phone call after phone call after phone call. Some of us will go door knocking. Some of us write checks. Some of us do all of it. But it's inherently our responsibility to preserve what is great about our country. And I think we have the best chance to do that this November. I was very proud of the campaign that we ran, and I'm prouder that both Mr. Mahoney and Mr. Ashew have joined the campaign as co-chairs, supporting the effort, because they believe in the principles that we believe in. Primaries are tough, they're spirited, but they make the campaign team better, they make the candidate better, and it sends a message that we are actively engaged in doing one thing. And the one thing that we are going to do is not just get rid of Carol Shea Porter, but Paul Hodes and John Lynch are going to go with it as well. We are going to restore fiscal sanity and fiscal discipline to our state and to our country. And I often find myself talking about state policy because as a mayor, as a voter, as a resident, I'm just as concerned as everybody else about what is going on in Concord. And I don't want Concord to be reliant on the federal government like Carol Shea Porter wants us to be, because that doesn't solve the problem. We've got to focus on our economy, putting business owners in the position to succeed. And the way you do that is, first of all, get government out of the way. Let's just get government out of the way. Let's actually give business owners and consumers something that they should have all along. Let's give them their money back. Let's give them a tax cut. And not just one person. Let's not pick winners and losers with taxpayers. Let's give everybody some of their money back, so they can then reinvest it into their businesses, send their kids to school, pay their bills, do something for the local economies. And you know what will happen? Small business in our state, which is 75% of our economy, will start to grow and thrive. And then if we actually allow them to purchase equipment and allow them to write it off in that 1 year, guess what they're going to do? They're going to start buying things. And they're going to start getting that product manufactured quicker. And they're going to start hiring more people. And then if you actually allow them to purchase health insurance on behalf of their employees by pooling, or anywhere in the country, and bring competition back to our state and every state in the country, guess what's going to happen? They're going to have more money to infuse into their business. And we are going to start to see a different direction in our country. But these are principles that Carol Shea Porter not only opposes, but is vehemently fighting to stop. We had our first debate last Monday, and she continually espoused big government as the solution. She cannot help herself. At least Paul Hodes is trying to pretend to be conservative. But we all know that that's not who Paul Hodes is. But Carol can't help herself because she believes in big government. This election is about Carol Shea Porter and big government principles that have not worked for the last 4 years versus limited, effective, good government, being stewards of other people's money ensuring that we spend only the amount of money we need to spend and not a penny more. No different than what we do in our households or as a mayor. It's exactly the principles that we have to apply in Washington. And people in Washington need to understand that the American people better be listened to, because if they're not, they'll make sure the people they send to Washington are one-termers. We as Americans are engaged, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing that we are civically engaged. I can't wait for this election. It's going to be, I think, a great thing for New Hampshire, a great thing for our country. It's going to be a great thing for my kids. It's going to be a great thing for your grandkids. Because this is the moment when a group of people will be known for taking our nation back. And I'm proud to be part of it to this point, and I'm proud to be able to be part of it in the future. Now, I would like to introduce our special guest today. It's been a privilege to get to know Governor Pawlenty. He's the 39th governor of Minnesota. He's in his second term. When he can't be here, he sends his lovely wife, Mary, to come and do his bidding for him. He has done something that I kind of feel like I have a synergy with him. I should probably tell you my mother likes you because you're Polish. For those of you who don't know, I'm part Polish. My mother's a Tchaikovsky. So when I first picked Ray Wazorek as the as the chairman of my mayoral campaign, she said, "Oh, he's Polish." And my mother went door knocking on the Polish households in the city. We kept that quiet because that was our secret weapon. And then when she started talking to me about this governor from Minnesota, she said, "I like him, he's a good Polish boy." And she makes it sound like he's younger than me, and then I look at his picture, and even though I know he's older than me, he does look younger than me. But he is a governor of a state that has complex issues and has an electorate that I would say is not very conservative. So you've got to not only work to change the minds and the spirit of your constituents, but also the legislature. And one of the things that I was most proud of is that he likes capping taxes. It was great to see someone take the leadership role in saying to everyone, regardless of party affiliation, you should keep more of your money. Don't give it to the government, because all they're going to do is spend it. He's been ranked as one of the most conservative, most effective governors in the country. He's someone who's spending a lot of time here in New Hampshire, and he's a leader in our nation relative to good public policy decisions. I'm proud to have him back in our state. I'm proud to have his help and his support. And I give you Governor Pawlenty.